And welcome back, everybody. This is Thorm with the Game Design Lexicon. We are playing Chocobo's Dungeon for the Sony PlayStation 1. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Thursday today. Mine's going okay. I got to play some Chocobo's Dungeon, which is better than last Thursday. I really love these games, dude. I think, and I said this at the very beginning of the stream, I think that the Fushigi no Dungeon games are probably the best console interpretation of a roguelike that there is. There's a few other like roguelike-ish games, and even like one or two other like roguelike games. But man, the mystery dungeon games, like all of them, I have yet to find a mystery dungeon game that I don't absolutely love. So let us shear down our stuff here. Looks like I got a level up nut, which is kind of cool. Hard to be confused. So I think let's throw in this Mithril +1 since it's about to break. Let's also throw in this Calm. That leaves us with 2 saddles, 2 claws, 1 food, 1 teleport. Dude, the amount of empty bottles we have, it's getting ridiculously high. Okay, and that's it. That's should be everything. Let me eat this level. Oh, can I eat the level up nut? No. Okay, that one's about to break. So let's equip this Mithril Claw. Let's equip, let's see, 16, 20. Let's equip that Mithril Saddle, and let's go. 1 more dive. Probably be the last one. What do we got? 2 more blocks? Yeah, probably be the last one. Maybe. Depends on how well it goes, I guess. The better, the longer, right? Okay. Oh, switch. What does this switch do? It dries up the spring. Well, oh joyous day. Oh Kalu Kalay. Yeah, that's some serious Jabberwocky shit. So, I actually, I got the Jabberwocky on my watch list. I don't know if anybody who's watching this has ever seen Jabberwocky. It's a Eric Idle movie. Eric Idle, right? One of the Monty Python guys, right? It's a really awesome movie. If you've ever seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Jabberwocky is kind of like an offshoot of that movie. If you remember the constitutional peasant, the one little peasant guy who's talking about how, you know, they don't have a king, it's a anarchistic commune, and you know, they elect a leader for the week and all that kind of stuff. Jabberwocky is literally about that one character the entire movie. He's like the son of a cooper, which is a barrel maker, right? And it's a really interesting movie. I guess it really didn't do all that well. But it's kind of interesting knowing that it was based on the Holy Monty Python and the Holy Grail mythology. Which, I mean, kind of cool that they expand such a thing, right? Look at that. Look at Tom and his big brain. What's down here? Dude, just when you think the dungeon doesn't go any further west. Okay, so... Oh. Shit. Yeah, those diagonal movements, man, they are just the... Oh, god damn it. Every time I hit that one, the spring is dried up. Peanut. The spring has dried up. Oh, god damn it. Boing. Like super boing. Oh shit, I forgot. I have that water walking thing too. Of course, I don't know how much I'm going to use that because, I mean, if I use it, obviously Sherma's not going to be able to fucking follow me to wherever I, you know, like, Jesus Christ it over. Let's see. Let's equip that. I also forgot to use my level up nut. Yay! That takes me up to 25. Yeah, like, there's a shit over here. Ow, you son of a bitch. Like, she gets all sorts of fucking confused. But one good thing is it allows me to kind of, like, avoid monsters, right? There she is. And the music in these? Oh my god. Ooh, a savory nut. Love them nuts. Come here, octopus. Ooh, I found a combining station. I'm so excited now. Okay. Earth? And mithril? Thunder? Let's see. And a level limit? What is the level limit? What the hell does that mean? Toughness, 7-8. I guess I'll go with the Earth one, right? No, the Mithril one. SP defense. SP defense on Earth is more. But man, that's like 2 more points of durability. And 2 more points of defense. Yeah, we'll go with the Mithril one. And then boink, boink. Thunder again. Let's see. Durability on that first one sucks. Okay, let's choose the second one. The +1 should transfer over. And that is the big thing, is transferring over those pluses is the biggest deal. And I need to make sure that I'm remembering that. That I need to make sure that I'm transferring those pluses. Which, wow, I found that combining station on level 3. I tell you what, I'm gonna bolt. Because that's mainly what I wanted to do. So from now on, I want to make sure that anything that I'm combining is mainly something that has a plus on it. I also want to probably make sure that I'm carrying at least 1 or 2 ID cards and use those on the IDs, right? Like, I mean, excuse me, use them on the cards themselves. What do we got left? Polish. Ooh, nice. So the polish will give me an extra +1. Let me go in. What did I get here? So I did get another mithril saddle. Oh no, I didn't. Okay. So let's see what we have in storage. So from now on, we probably want to make sure that we're going primarily with the stuff that has pluses on it. Right? So let's go ahead and hit up this guy. Oh, what are you doing? No, I want to sell something, Bubba. Let us sell a peanut. Oh, I found another level up nut. How about that? Let's sell this calm. Even though it's worth, like, so much more. Okay, and what do I need to buy? I need to buy a teleport, and I need to buy a healing potion. And that is it. I need to make sure that I arm my stuff, too. Oh, didn't I have I had a high potion in my thing, didn't I? Yeah, I'm gonna go grab that high potion rather than buying one of these crappy teleports. Or low-level potions. I also have that polish that I need to use. Oh, shit, and also... Oh, no, I can't use that one. Yes. Need to buy a few IDs. Dude, I got so much money now. And those are going to be saved primarily for cards. Because if I can learn what a card is straight off, then I can utilize things like polish cards and repair cards. So the only thing that I now have left in my storage is nuts. Go out, dummy. So let's dive again. That last dive was really short. So the last dive proved to me that the combiner can be on any level. So I need to make sure that I'm remembering that. At first I was thinking that maybe it was like a lower level, I mean, you know, a higher level, lower level thing? I don't know how to say that. Oh, you son of a bitch, dude. I need to figure out what to do in that situation. I guess I need to lead her kind of further away from him. Okay. Oh. That dude kind of snuck up on me. Stairs down. So, let's finish the level first. Again, probably always a good idea to make sure that we're finishing the level now that we've proven that you don't need... Oh. You don't need to be on any particular level to get one of those combiners. Hey, what do we got here? Sticky tonic. Okay, looks like I'm probably just about done here. Yep. Okay. Get the flock out of here. So you're getting a little bit smarter about how I play. This is one of the reasons why I got the water walking ones. It's not going to help me on the lower levels where digging claws would probably help me a little bit better, but I don't care. On these water levels, it's really helpful. And at least I don't, like, start off... Oh, god damn it, I just screwed up. There we go. I don't start off the game getting my ass kind of handed to me by a bunch of stupid creatures. a little bit more efficient at downing them, right? Of course, I mean, it also helps that I'm being a little bit more tactical. Hello? Can I not gather that? Examine? Nothing here? Do I have to... Oh. Item? That's weird that it's not letting me... Is it because of the water walk stuff? Do I have to take that off to be able to do it? Oh, sure enough. Well, that's a little bit of a pain in the ass. What did that give me, by the way? A flimsy potion? Yeah, I'm not gonna fill up my shit if I don't know what it is. Item... Water walk equip. Let's go up. Y'all did. The spring is dried up, which is fine. Another nut. Since it's a peanut, I'm just going to go ahead and eat it already. A little bit of a waste, but I got so many of them. Oh shit, I also forgot to use this polish card. I should probably use it. Let's use that. Oh, and the level up card. Let's use that on this mithril that I'm using. Nice. And let's hit that level up nut. 26. Hells yes. Hells to the motherfucking yeah. Had to think about that one for a sec. Sometimes the game is like chess. So I've been thinking about pre-produced content and not just live stuff, right? I originally named my channel The Game Design Lexicon because the intention was that I was going to make videos that had to do with game design and game mechanics and not just computer games either, just games in general. So I've been kind of tossing around ideas that might actually jive with that intention, right? And one of the things that I've come upon that I wouldn't mind doing that sounds pretty interesting to me is when I used to read oh, god damn it. They just damaged my claws, dude. Once upon a time, I used to read Dragon Magazine back in the day. And one of my favorite articles in Dragon Magazine was a series that they had going called The Ecology of, right? And what it would do is it would take a D&D monster that you are familiar with, and it would break down a lot of the stuff that you wouldn't inherently know by just reading the monster manual entry. Things like feeding habits, breeding habits, stuff like that. Just basically all the information that you'd ever want to know about this specific monster. So I lost those two books. The spell book and the cantrip book. I wonder what the fuck happened to them. I wonder, I guess maybe those make my... Ooh, Silpstone. They make my spell level go up, maybe? Could be? I don't fucking know. So anyway, I was thinking about doing... one of my favorites in that series was was an article called The Ecology of a Beholder, right? And they pretty much told you everything about how, beholders functioned. So I was actually thinking about doing that with games instead of monsters and having a series that kind of paid homage to that, called the Ecology of series, the Ecology of Games, and possibly making a pre-produced series where, you know, I'd spend like maybe 30 minutes or so talking about specific parts of games. Like one of the things that I was thinking, one of the first 2 episodes that I was thinking about doing with it, the first one would be basic genre, the first 2 genres, right? So a genre that every game fits in are these 2 genres. Every game in the world is these 2 genres, which is action or turn-based, right? And the idea is that, you know, and of course this genre is so rudimentary that it predates, video games, right? What is this asshole doing? Oh. So pretty much every game that you would play that isn't a video game, such as table tennis or chess, follows the same genre, right? They're either going to be turn-based or action, right? Pong being an action game or table tennis being an action game. And chess being a turn-based game, right? And going through how those specific genres evolved, or started off and then evolved. What else was I thinking of? And that basically started me down the road of thinking about maybe even the next episode, which would be game complexity, right? Because when you have 2 different genres, so, you know, action or turn-based, obviously, you know what they are. Action means it typically requires dexterity, constant moving. The game will actually continue without you. You know, if you choose to do nothing, the game will pretty much just pass you up, right? And again, this goes for, you know, real-life games, in addition to computer games. If you sit there and do nothing, yeah, real time essentially, action, real time, it pretty much they're the same thing, and I'd use those terms interchangeably, right? Because of course where they originate is like you said, they originate from how the game progresses. How does the game move from beginning to end? Does it do it? And the idea is that, of course, typically a more strategical game, one that's going to require more thinking, is not going to progress until you take an action, right? Like chess, or, for example, the game that I'm playing, right? The game will not progress unless I take an action. And then, of course, you have games that'll just progress from beginning to end without you, such as Pong or table hockey or, you know, whatever, you know, any sport that you're typically familiar with, football, soccer, whatever. Best analogy I can come up with is probably table tennis, because there's also a video game analogy for that, right? You know, Pong. But what that also adds on to is one of the things that I was thinking about, one of the things that I was contemplating, is how, so when it comes to computer games, you sit and think, okay, well, what's the difference between a computer game and like a desktop game, you know, a real-life game, right? It kind of reminds me, oh, I guess there are the cantrip and spells, so I still have those. They kind of remind me of a game that I used to play, you know, because I was a big board game person, even once I started playing computer games. And, God, I got a bunch of bullshit, don't I? So, let's teleport these iron claws. So, yeah, so the second episode that I was thinking about, one that would sounded kind of neat, is talking about game complexity, right? And how one of the advantages of computer games, one of the things that computer games ended up allowing, is the exponential increase in game complexity, right? So we used to have this game that we played, you know, I always loved board games. I grew up with board games. And you start off with the simple ones, you know, Chutes and Ladders, and you graduate to the more complex ones like Boggle, and then you eventually graduate to the even more complex ones like Monopoly. And then if you're a role-playing nerd like me, you ended up even graduating to further games like, you know, full tabletop strategy games, or games like Talisman. And that's the one that came to mind the most. Is I thought about Talisman, which was a Games Workshop game. So the same people who make like Warhammer, right? I don't know if you're familiar with it. But me and my friends used to call Talisman the game that was the closest that you could get to Dungeons and Dragons in a board game, or without actually playing Dungeons and Dragons. And the game was insanely complex, right? Your agency in the game was damn near unlimited. You could go and play in a dungeon and find treasure. You could go to the city and have adventures in the city. You could even go to space. There was a space expansion for it, right? I mean, you could do all sorts of shit in this game. You know, and what was the downside of that? The downside was... Oh, God damn it. Oh, screw you. The downside was the fact that the game took forever to set up. Unbelievably long amount of time to set up. Even worse to break down, because there were dozens of types of cards for it. And even worse, I'd get together a group of friends, and we'd have 4 to maybe 8 players. And if we had that many players, that was an all-night thing. That was start at like 6 to 8 o'clock and don't finish until after like 2 a.m. So one of the things that computer games allowed for is it allowed for increasing that complexity of the game without actually increasing the time it took to either prepare for the game or play the game. It also increased your ability to mix and match genres. Like here's one, because we were just talking about real-time or turn-based, right? So with real-time, let's say you have a turn-based game like chess, right? And you have a turn-based game like Space War, right? Where you have the 2 ships that fly around and shoot each other. Well, what if you wanted a game that was like chess, but every time 2 units like attacked each other, it turned into a Space War type battle, right? And this is what I mean by added complexity. Added complexity means that you no longer have to adhere to just one type of base mechanic. You could have a game that is both turn-based and real-time. A good example is the Total War series, right? That takes place on a turn-based map that you strategize on, and then the battles themselves are real-time. And I'm sitting here talking about a game like chess, where, you know, during the battles you have like a Space War type battle, right? Well, bam, that actually exists. There's a game that already does that. It's called Archon for the Commodore. It's an earlier game, right? And it was kind of like a fantasy chess in the sense that you had fantasy pieces like mana cores and knights and you know, all sorts of fantasy shit. But when you got into a combat, everything turned into an action game where you just suddenly had to battle each other. And that determined who won the combat, too. So it wasn't just one unit could take another unit just because of positioning, like you'd say in chess. You actually had to go into a dexterous, skill-based type of combat to be able to resolve that. And what that does is it takes games that were originally like, you know, basic turn-based or real-time games like Pong or chess or Space War or, you know, whatever your analogy is for it. and it allows you to pile on complexity. Even something like Breakout, for example, is another, or Arachnoid is probably the more popular one, is a pile on of complexity. You know, just imagine a table tennis game where it was combined with bowling, right? You know, I mean, you don't really think of that. I mean, you have two action games, obviously, but you're combining them because, you know, when you think about it, Breakout or Arachnoid, whichever, you know, pick whichever one you want, is literally just a combination between those two games. It's bowling with, you know, single-sided table tennis, right? The idea is to knock off blocks or knock down pins, whatever analogy you want to put on it. And you do it with essentially a tennis ball or you know, a handball or whatever your analogy is for it. And anyway, it is break time. This is Arm with the Game Design Lexicon. We are currently playing Chocobo's Dungeon 2 for the Sony PlayStation 1, talking about the actual shit that this channel should be talking about, game design theory, and how I was thinking about the breakdown of certain types of genres of games, and anything that I could possibly turn into a long-form content on my channel. If you like these discussions, if you like watching me play Chocobo's Dungeon 2 or whatever, you can do it live over here on Twitch. Just hit the follow button, and it'll tell you when we're going live, which is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, noon p.m. till 4 p.m. GMT -6. So you can catch us over on YouTube. If you can't catch us live, just hit the subscribe and the alert button and know we're coming out with new videos, which is every day. It's everything that happened the week before on the live show comes out on the channel a week later on YouTube. Anyway, I'm going to take a short music break. We still have one more block of Chocobo's Dungeon. So I will be back after this short break with some more Chocobo's Dungeon 2 for the Sony PlayStation 1.